Hello everyone, welcome to online lectures. So we are discussing subject environmental chemistry, chapter number 1, concept and scope of environmental chemistry. So in this chapter, in the previous lecture we have seen segments of environment and biogeochemical cycles in the environment. So in segments of environment we know 4 segments are there: atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere and biosphere. We have discussed in detail. Then after biogeochemical cycles in the environment. So there are two types of biogeochemical cycles. One is sedimentary and second one is gaseous. Out of that, let us see first cycle, it is carbon cycle. So in carbon cycle, we know very well the carbon cycle operates in circulation of carbon. So it is biological chemistry, that is organic chemistry to the environment. So we know very well carbon is present as CO2, that is carbon dioxide, in the atmosphere. It is present in the form of CO2. So carbon is very minor constituent, but it is very important for the atmosphere. So it is partly divided to some or different areas. So let's see in which different part it is distributed. So firstly, a part of carbon, it is dissolved in surface water and in groundwater as bicarbonate, HCO3 minus. Again, major portion of the carbon, it is dissolved in sea and ocean water. It is deposited at the bottom of sea or ocean. Again, a part of carbon, it is fixed by the photosynthesis as a biological carbon. Again, it is used as biologically also by the green plant for the process of photosynthesis. Some fraction of carbon, it is fixed in coal, lignite and petroleum natural gas. So we know very well that carbon cycle is mainly based on transfer of carbon to the biological system and finally to geosphere as fossil fuel or fossil carbon. Like microorganisms are there. Microorganisms are playing very important role in carbon cycle. So how? Microorganisms also degrade organic carbon into CO2, carbon dioxide, from the biomass fossil fuel, and it is finally returning to the atmosphere. So continuously from the atmosphere the carbon is taken to the different forms, in the different forms, and again is returned to the environment. So in the picture you can see very well in this flowchart, atmospheric CO2 is uptaken by for the process of photosynthesis. So plants take this CO2. Again ocean is also there. To the bottom of ocean or sea, the carbon is there, organic carbon, and it is in the form of HCO3 minus or CO3 2 minus. It is carbonate and bicarbonate ion. So how they are generated? They are because of CO2. Okay, carbon dioxide is converted into bicarbonate and carbonate ion. Auto exhaust and factories are also there, which are returning that carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So this is regarding the carbon cycle. So next cycle we are going to discuss, it is nothing but the nitrogen cycle. So in nitrogen cycle we are going to discuss different type of nitrogen fixation processes and how the nitrogen cycle is working. So nitrogen is very important and the main constituent of the environment or the atmosphere. It is present near about 79%. It is not absorbed directly by the most form of life. So what environment is doing? That nitrogen is converted into different form. Plant absorb nitrate from the soil and produces protein. These proteins are organic compound containing nitrogen. We know well plant and animals are continuously produce protein. So this nitrogen fixation is done by two types. First one, nitrogen fixation by physicochemical reaction. So in physicochemical reaction, it is nothing but combination of nitrogen and oxygen gas, and then how it is forming, it is due to thunderstorm in rainy season. So nitrogen and oxygen gas combine together to form NO, nitrous oxide, and then we are getting this NO is combined with oxygen and we are getting NO2. After that NO2, it will form nitric acid, HNO3. That HNO3 is nothing but acid rain which come to the earth. Again it combines with the basic component in soil, and form nitrate. Okay, then after let's see second, it is nitrogen fixation or nitrogen transformation by bacteria. Again it is based on four major chemical transformation. First one is nitrogen fixation, nitrification, reduction of nitrate to nitrite ion, and fourth one is denitrification. So in the first process, nitrogen fixation, N2, that is molecular nitrogen, is fixed as organic nitrogen with the help of rhizobium bacteria. In the second process, nitrification, second chemical transformation, nitrification, oxidation of ammonia takes place to form NO3 minus. It is done with the help of Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Third one is reduction of nitrate to nitrite ion. So in third chemical transformation, reduction of nitrate to nitrite ion, NO3 minus, it is converted to NO2 minus. And in the last process, it is denitrification. In denitrification, reduction of NO3 and NO3 minus is carried out to NO2 minus. It is taking place. NO3 and NO3 minus are converted to NO2 minus. Then recycling of N2, that is nitrogen, to the atmosphere takes place. Okay, whatever the nitrogen is there, it again goes to the atmosphere and the recycling process is carried out. Man is responsible with this natural cycle industrially by fixing nitrogen, and these plants are absorb nitrogen and again re-enter the nitrogen cycle. So we know very well this cycle. Let's see a flowchart regarding nitrogen cycle. So see atmospheric nitrogen, on both the side nitrogen is there, N2. So on the first side you can see N2, it is converted to NO2 minus. How? Because of lightning and rain, it is NO2 minus. That NO2 minus is goes to the river. Okay, runoff of that NO2 minus takes to the river. Then on the other side you can see that nitrogen, it goes to the microorganisms and it is distributed to four different parts. It is to dead organic residues, then it is goes to ammonia, NO3 minus and NO2 minus, nitrate and nitrite. Again with the help of nitrifying bacteria, it goes to a plant and then after to the animals. From plant and animals, it again goes to dead organic residues. So this cycle is continuous and continuously occurring. It is called as nitrogen cycles. Next cycle we are going to see, it is phosphorus cycle. The third number cycle, it is phosphorus cycle. So we know very well phosphates are very essential for the growth and support of bones and teeth. Okay, for the bones and teeth. Then the phosphates are also having very important role. Organophosphates are essential for cell division and production of nuclear RNA and DNA. Then plant and animals are also get their nutrition with chemical utilizing adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP. Then how these or where these phosphate are found? So phosphate minerals are found in rocks and soil. Plant on the earth absorb inorganic phosphate salt from the soil and convert them into organic phosphate. That animal obtain their phosphate by eating that plant. Okay, after the death of plant and animal, the decay return phosphate to the soil. So again it is again continuous cycle. Whatever the plant and animals are return phosphate to the soil, they are converted into humus. We know humus very well, what is meant by humus. So next after you can see the flowchart of phosphorus cycle or how the phosphorus cycle is working. So see, rocks containing phosphate or volcanoes, then erosion takes place. From erosion, phosphate in soil, okay, the phosphate goes to the soil. From the soil it goes to the deep sea and to the shallow seawater reservoir. Again it goes to plant producers, consumers and decomposers. Okay, so plant producers are as a food, it gives to consumer, and after decay it goes to decomposers. Again decomposers, when decomposes phosphate, it goes to soil. From soil again shallow seawater reservoir and then again to rocks containing phosphate and volcanoes. So again, this is a continuous cycle of phosphate. The next cycle we are going to observe, it is nothing but sulfur cycle. So let's see sulfur cycle. Plant and animals depend on continuous supply of sulfur. Sulfur and its components are very essential constituent of protein and amino acid. So sulfur cycle may be gaseous or sedimentary cycle. Means it may be gaseous or may be sedimentary. So two types of cycle, sulfur cycle. First one is gaseous sulfur cycle. So gaseous sulfur cycle, it is nothing but when sulfur enters the atmosphere through bacterial emission in the form of H2S, again in the form of fossil fuel burning, wind blow, sea salt and volcanic emission. Okay, volcanic emission. Sulfur is in the form of SO2 or H2S, sulfur dioxide or H2S. It is converted to SO3. And then SO3 is come in contact with water and it forms H2SO4. Okay, H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Again, it turns acid rain formation and we are able to observe the acid rain, H2SO4 rain. Then next type, sedimentary sulfur cycle. So in the sedimentary sulfur cycle, sulfur is tied up in organic and inorganic deposits. Sulfur is tied up organic and inorganic deposits which is released due to weathering and decomposition. Okay, and this sulfur is released in the form of SO4 minus ion. SO4 minus ion. It is then carried out to terrestrial and ecosystem in the form of salt solution. So in the form of salt solution, it is going to, or it goes to terrestrial and ecosystem. Sulfur is also added to the system from fertilizers. So different fertilizers are there which contain sulfur. In short, sulfur cycle shows circulation of sulfur and its component in the environment. So let's see sulfur cycle in this diagram or in this picture. So how it is carrying out, let's see. First one is microorganism. So microorganism through anaerobic process, it converts to sulfide. From sulfide it goes to atmosphere. In atmosphere it may be SO2, SO3, SO4. Okay, then after atmospheric SO2 or SO3, whatever sulfide form is there, then after it convert to sulfate. That sulfate is going toward the plant and animal in the form of protein. Then after it forms organic residues, and again with the help of aerobic process from microorganism, it is forming sulfates. So like this, again this is a cycle of sulfur, sedimentary sulfur cycle. The next cycle that we are going to discuss, it is nothing but oxygen cycle. So we know very well oxygen, it is very essential component required for respiration and different processes. Okay, aerobic respiration, enzymatic oxidation, so many processes are there which require oxygen in major quantity. So oxygen is very important component of all living organism. Its plenty supply is vital for substance of life in the biosphere. It is very much essential for plant, animal and all human beings for aerobic respiration. So plant, animals and humans are required oxygen for the respiration process. Again for enzymatic oxidation of organic food which sustains growth and general metabolism, for that also oxygen is very much important. Oxygen is absorbed during respiration and released by plant during the photosynthesis process. So what is oxygen cycle and how it is working? Let's see. The oxygen cycle is very stable and it is based on exchange of oxygen among environment segment. So different segments of environment and the exchange of oxygen, how it is done in different segments. Let's see. The environment segment include atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere and biosphere. So it participates in combustion reaction, that is burning of fossil fuel. Then again what is advantage or where the oxygen is required, it is consumed by some oxidative weathering processes of minerals. Okay, so how it is converted? FeO, ferrous oxide plus oxygen, it gives Fe2O3. Okay, Fe2O3. Then soluble Fe2 plus Fe having 2 oxidation state is consumed bulk of oxygen forming a large deposit of Fe2O3. Then green plant are also return oxygen in the atmosphere through the process of photosynthesis. photosynthesis. Through the process of photosynthesis. These all processes are responsible to maintain the oxygen balance in the atmosphere. These all processes are required or maintain the balance of oxygen. So see in the flowchart or in the diagram, in the picture, we are able to see oxygen cycle and how it is carrying out. So oxygen is consumed by reducing gases of volcanic origin. So carbon monoxide, when react with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. Again, ozone shield absorption of UV radiation for 220 nanometer to 330 nanometer. Next is animal and plant. Okay, animal in the form of O2, plants in the form of CO2. They are consuming oxygen. Again, carbon plus oxygen, it giving carbon dioxide, CO2, and O2 consumed by burning fossil fuels. In photosynthesis process, also the CO2 or oxygen is used. And whatever the combined oxygen is there, combined O2, it is held in the sediment. Okay, it is held in the sediment. So this is all regarding the all cycles or biogeochemical cycles of the environment. Biogeochemical cycles of the environment in detail. We have discussed carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur and oxygen cycle. Okay, so here we will stop and thank you for watching the lecture.